Evening, everyone. I'm calling the Fraser City Council meeting of Thursday, December 14th, 2023 to order. May we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Ms. Greenia, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bransky.
Present.
Mayor Lessig.
Here.
Councilmember Odell.
Here.
Councilmember Perry.
Here.
Councilmember Shornack.
Present.
Councilmember Stein.
Present.
Councilmember Sutherland.
Present.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, approval of the agenda. I do have one change to the agenda so far. We are removing item B, Eagle Scout Myron Cruzel recognition. He's ill and can't be here tonight. We will be rescheduling that for another night. So,
I'll second the motion.
okay, thank you. Any other changes to the agenda, additions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Mr. Odell.
Motion to approve the agenda as submitted with changes.
Second.
Motion by Odell, second by Baranski to approve the amended agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 5, citizen participation on agenda items. This is an opportunity for people that can't be here throughout the meeting to participate on agenda items only. And is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? All right, seeing none, I will move on to item number 6, the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Sorry, getting used to the lights.
Sutherland.
I had 2 lights. Councilmember Sutherland.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion by Sutherland, second by Odell to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Item number 7, appointing Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Pro Tem is the role that, in my absence, that person would take over and chair any meetings and act in the mayor capacity while I was unable to do so. So, anyone would like to see? I have, excuse me, Councilmember Baranski.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I was going to make a motion to appoint Patrice Shornack as the mayor pro tem. And the rationale for that was that both in terms of age and experience, I think this is probably the youngest city council that the city of Fraser's ever had. Patrice has the longest tenure and she's just starting year 9. So with the new administration in the city, the new leadership, I still consider myself new and I'm only 4 years in. I thought that having the most seasoned member of council as our mayor pro tem would give us someone in the leadership role that had the experience that I don't have. So that was the basis for my motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion? Councilmember Stein.
Oh, no, I'm good. I was coming.
Okay. Councilmember Odell.
I agree. Ms. Shornack has done good, but I think as a council, we should kind of rotate people. I'd like to nominate Councilmember Sutherland as a candidate for Mayor Pro Tem for this time around.
Well, we do have a motion on the table, so we'll have to discuss that and vote on that.
Okay.
My thoughts are, as I agree with Mr. Odell, that we do rotate these positions, and they actually last about every 2 years. I had given it some thought, and I would prefer to, Ms. Shornack, I believe you were just Mayor Pro Tem?
Yep,
Okay.
for last year.
Okay. So my preference would be Ms. Sutherland, but we can take a vote on this and see what happens. Any other discussion on this? All right, I will, would you like a roll call vote, or all in favor of a motion by Baranski, second by Perry, for Patrice Shornack to be Mayor Pro Tem? All in favor? If you want to abstain, we would have to we do have to vote on.
I don't believe that's true.
That's
Is that true,
correct.
Don?
That is correct. Yep.
Yes, Ms. Shornack, technically speaking, you shouldn't abstain because it's not self-interested, so you should participate. It is your duty if you feel you're the most qualified and support yourself and your own candidacy, because otherwise you would decline the nomination and then you wouldn't have to worry about voting, so.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor of Patrice Shornack to be Mayor Pro Tem, say aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bransky,
Yes?
Mayor Lessich,
Yes, no, excuse me, sorry.
Councilmember Odell,
No.
Councilmember Perry,
Yes.
Councilmember Shornack,
Yes?
Councilmember Stein,
No.
and Councilmember Sutherland.
No.
Okay, motion fails. I would entertain a second motion for Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Odell.
I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Sutherland as a nomination for Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion by Odell, second by Stein, to make Dana Sutherland the Mayor Pro Tem. Discussion? Hearing none, I would take a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bransky,
Yes?
Mayor Lessich,
Yes.
Councilmember Odell,
Yes.
Councilmember Perry,
Yes, sure.
Councilmember Shornack,
Yes?
Councilmember Stein,
Yes.
and Councilmember Sutherland.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, thank you. All right, Ms. Greenie, would you like me to renumber or re-letter these agenda items?
No, sir, I'll move them up.
Okay. Item 7C, Moms Club of South Macomb recognition, bike rack for McKinley Park. And with that, if you folks can come on up. There we go. All right, good evening. This is my first one doing this, so. The Moms Club of Southern Macomb County, came to Fraser a few years ago and offered to put a little library in over by Fort Fraser. I don't know if one of you was the person involved at that point. Okay, I met you before. Nice to see you again. You're Jen. Claire. And Katie. These are the Moms Club of Southern Macomb County. And what they do is they get together as a group of moms, and they travel around, and they support each other. And I met them, and they come to McKinley Park now, but I met them at Fort Fraser, I believe, at that time. So recently, they decided they do a quarterly fundraiser.
We do 2 fundraisers per term, typically.
Okay.
1 to 2, and our first fundraiser for this term, we chose to benefit McKinley.
Okay, so they do a fundraiser, and what they try to do is they try to improve the areas that they utilize and try to improve the community. This year, they chose McKinley Park. They saw a need for a bike rack, and they made ornaments or some other kind of.
Whimsy and Wine, a local business in Fraser, they made the ornaments.
Yep.
And then we sold them.
Great. Well, we've prepared a certificate of recognition. It's very important. So, whereas the Moms Club of Southern Macomb County is a support group for moms of all social backgrounds to come together and find friendship. Members focus on moms offering other moms support. They also foster a safe space for children to play with similarly aged kids. Whereas the Moms Club of Southern Macomb County serves Centerline, East Point, Fraser, Roseville, St. Clair Shores, and Warren. Did I miss anyone? Due to its convenient location and amenities, the club regularly meets at McKinley Barrier-Free Park for their monthly chapter chats, play dates, and other events. Whereas, when club members saw a need for a bike rack at the park, they chose McKinley Park as the beneficiary for their recent fundraiser. The club sold locally made ornaments and made by Whimsy and Wine, a Fraser business conveniently located at Utica and Masonic, by the way. Through their fundraising efforts, they raised $250 towards the bike rack. A matching donation was made by the Fraser First Booster Club to fully fund the project, and a bike rack will soon be installed at the park. Thank you very much. Whereas the Moms Club has once again provided generous support to the parks of the City of Fraser and helped to improve our community, now therefore, this is the hard part for me. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Michael Lessig, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Fraser, and on behalf of the entire City Council and all our citizens, do hereby extend our appreciation, as well as this certificate of recognition to the members of the Moms Club of Southern Macomb County. Here you go. We got to figure out a way to send these between. Thank you very much. When does it go in, do you know?
I believe in the spring.
Okay, that doesn't mean right now. Thank you, and I really appreciate it. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
Did you have something that you wanted to share for your next fundraiser coming up?
Our next fundraiser is going to be benefiting the Foster Closet of Macomb, and we are going to be holding that. We're waiting for a confirmed date with Cloverleaf. However, it's going to be at the end of February, and we will be sharing information about it on our public Facebook page. Maybe I can get the Booster Club to share a post for us, but it's going to be held at Cloverleaf Pizza, and I believe it's 20%.
Yeah, 20%.
Yeah, 20% of sales will be donated for the fundraiser, and then we also will have several raffle baskets and prizes that we'll be raffling off, as well as a 50-50 raffle.
It'll be the East Point location.
Yes, the East Point location. The Macomb Foster Closet provides clothing and other items for children that are in the foster system. A lot of times they're moving suddenly and without many of their own items. And so they provide them brand new clothing, toiletries, and essentials that they need as they move into the foster system.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Fine for change.
All right. Item 7D, Recreation Commission reappointment, Echo Hunt. Ms. Levin?
So the item that you have before you tonight is a reappointment for Echo Hunt. She has been serving on the Recreation Commission for, I believe, a number of years. And this would be a term that will last until December 31st, 2026.
Okay. Councilmember Shornack.
Yes, I would like to make the motion to reappoint Ms. Echo Hunt to the Recreation Commission. Second that.
Thank you very much. Motion to reappoint Echo Hunt to the Recreation Commission for a term ending 12/31/2026, made by Councilmember Shornack, seconded by Councilmember Stein. Any discussion? Mayor Pro Tem Sutherland.
So I just want to say I fully support that as well, but just a special shout out, honestly, to Echo for all of the hard work that she does on the commission. I go to those commission meetings, and the road rally that we had in the last year, Christmas in Fraser, Echo tirelessly gives herself back to the community, pickleball. So just thank you, Echo, so much for everything that you give to the city. I couldn't support this enough. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council? I would echo the comments about Echo. She is a spark plug in the city. And with that, I would like to call the vote. All in favor of reappointing Echo Hunt to the Recreation Commission for a term ending 12/31/2026, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Welcome. You are back on the commission. Thank you very much. All right, item E, Recreation Commission reappointment, Rebecca Walker. Ms. Levin?
So this is very similar to what we just did. This one is for Rebecca Walker, and the term is also December 31st, 2026.
All right. Councilmember Baranski?
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Rebecca Walker to the Recreation Commission.
Second.
All right. A motion by Councilmember Baranski, seconded by Councilmember Odell to reappoint Rebecca Walker to the Recreation Commission for a term ending 12/31/2026. Any comment? Seeing none, I would ask that we take a vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Welcome back to the Recreation Commission, Ms. Walker. And thank you for your service, both of you. Item 7F, cost share agreement for Garfield Road. Ms. Levin?
The item that you have before you tonight is a cost share agreement for the Garfield Road improvements, which includes widening, easements, drainage, and surface improvements to Garfield Road from 14 to 15 mile. This work is something that was probably planned, I would say, within the last 5 years, and finally coming to fruition. This is certainly something that's going to benefit the area and the schools quite a bit, and I certainly have had discussions with Fraser Public Schools about contributing a portion to help offset some of the costs. I don't have anything guaranteed at the moment, but certainly want to continue talks with them about that. We have a certain amount budgeted for this fiscal year that we're currently in. The remainder would be budgeted in the next fiscal year, which will be starting the budget process in January. Initially, we'll be required to pay $275,000 for the retainer for engineering to get this project started, and that is due upon approval of this cost share agreement. So what I'm looking for tonight is a motion to proceed with the cost share agreement as presented by Macomb County.
Thank you. Couple questions. So we would pay the $275 immediately, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess that's my main question. Would anyone like to make a motion? Councilmember Baranski.
I'll make a motion to approve the cost share agreement for Garfield Road.
Second.
Do we need to, okay, a motion by Councilmember Baranski, second by Councilmember Shornack, to approve the cost-sharing agreement as presented. Mr. Janal, do we have to put any amounts in there?
No, Mr. Mayor, as long as it's as presented, then the record will speak for itself in terms of numbers and terms.
Okay. Any discussion by the council? Okay. Do we know when the project would start?
We don't have a start date yet. They have yet to bid out the contract, so we'll have more information by the time that they do that. This is the preliminary stage where they start doing the engineering work. And then once they get that done, they'll put the project out to bids, and hopefully will come in at a much lower price than what they're estimating.
You're a dreamer. To that thing about cost, in 2017, this project was planned to be a resurfacing of Garfield for somewhere less than $1 million. And thanks to the sinkhole, that was delayed, and then the project was reimagined and into a total reconstruction with a bridge, a replacement of the with a box culvert over by the high school over the drain. And that project that was less than $1 million in 2017 has expanded its scope and is now a $7 million project, of which $4.5 million is paid for by federal funding. So we're paying about 18% of this $7 million project as perceived. So, Mr. Ragsdale, do you have anything to add on, like, they're going to hurry up and get it started or something?
I got a question.
All right, Mr. Odell.
Mr. Ragsdale, so with the reconstruction on Garfield, it is going to be a middle lane through that whole stretch, right, from 14 to 15? Is that my understanding, or is that not the case?
This particular project is being managed by Mike Vignon. He couldn't be here this evening, so I don't want to give you information that I'm not 100% positive on, but that is, I presume, as well. But I don't want to confirm that without consulting with Mike.
Okay.
Mark, would it be possible to have him put together just a one-page summary now that we've approved the money
Absolutely.
Moving forward, just say, here's a, you know, a sketch, and here's what we're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
And
would be great.
we just met the other day. We're going to be replacing the water main as well, where it goes under the creek or the drainage ditch. We're going to take that opportunity to get that done, because the last thing we want to do is put in a brand new road widen the road and have this old water main that, and the bridges will be redone as well.
Are they going to do the walking bridge too?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. Thank you very much. Any other discussion by council members? Oh, and citizen participation. Anybody from the public would like to come up and talk about this? And I apologize for missing that on the appointments. All right, seeing no one in the audience, I would entertain a vote to approve the cost-sharing agreement for Garfield Road. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes, and we are getting a new Garfield Road. Thank you very much.
It's only taken 30 years.
It has. Item 7G, SEMCOG appointment. I asked for this to be on the agenda. I had discussed with Mr. Odell, who is the current SEMCOG representative for the City of Fraser, and he graciously said that if I wanted to be that representative, that he would be fine with that. Is that correct, Mr. Odell? All right. So I guess I can make this motion to appoint Michael Lesage to be the SEMCOG representative for the City of Fraser.
Second.
Motion by Lesage, second by Sutherland, to appoint Michael Lesage to be the SEMCOG representative through the end of the current term.
We usually are.
All right, Councilmember Baranski.
I was just curious, do we have to, is it to replace, or like, is Odell stepping down, or?
Oh, I'm
I mean,
voluntary.
okay.
I'm voluntary, so.
I mean, I don't care.
I'd be happy to be the backup
I have you as alternate.
as an alternate.
Because you were the.
Correct.
Okay, so you're stepping down and the mayor's taking over, okay.
Yeah, we have two, and you need a representative and an alternate. And so,
Yeah, I was just wondering if logistically he needed to step down before we appointed someone else, because technically, we had appointed Mr. Odell.
If Mr. Mayor, if you're asking me, the answer is, that is a very technical way to look at it. But
I don't want Odell getting mad.
Mr. Odell has represented that he is graciously willing to do so, and if the council makes a motion to appoint Mr. Lesich, then that motion will take priority over any past action.
Thank you.
okay. That's it. Any comment from the audience? Seeing none, I would entertain a vote. All in favor of appointing Michael Lesage to be the, I'm sorry.
Good thing you're Mayor Pro Tem.
That's right.
In my own light now. I was just going to say, maybe it would be helpful also to just give a quick 10-second summary. What is SEMCOG for those in the audience and at home who are wondering?
That's a good point. Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments is a group of government officials, elected or appointed, that meet regularly and discuss issues of a regional nature. Things, a lot of the federal funding that comes through the state of Michigan, such as this project on Garfield Road, projects like transportation alternative programs, PASS, park plans, regional plans that cover, I think, 11 counties. That is what SEMCOG does, is it acts as a clearinghouse between the federal government, local officials, and really does recommend and help move money into local projects. They don't act as a funding mechanism, they act more as a clearinghouse, information and recommendations, do large-scale studies. That was a 40-second description, but that's what SEMCOG does.
Well, thank you.
All right, I would now entertain a vote, as said, to appoint me as the representative and Mr. Odell as the alternate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay? No. Yay, and so that happened. Item 7H, multimedia platform review. Ms. Levin, do you want to start?
Sure. I've had discussions with the mayor about some of the previous issues that we've had with the recording process. recently we had issues with the audio. We've had issues with the video on and off. Some of the problems stem, I think, from the complexity of the system that we have, and that there's so many layers of things that when one thing changes, it impacts other things in the system. And we discussed talking about seeing if there's maybe some other alternative that we could take a look at where we can have more people that will be able to know the functionality and be able to come in and be able to just hit a button, be able to record, so that if for some reason Ed is not available or his backup is not available, we would easily be able to run and broadcast a meeting, because we've had issues in the past where we have not been able to record the meetings. At this point in time, I think just having some discussion about potential options and if the city might want to pursue looking into other avenues for some type of recording system.
Okay. So I had asked for this to be on the agenda. One of the things, and some of us have been around for a while, there used to be one button in there that you'd flip the switch and it would work. And that was a while ago when we had, we probably had Comcast. And we're now in a much different world where we have YouTube, we have Comcast, we have WOW, we have AT&T, and all of them have different technical needs. And keeping all those working on the current platform has proven to be a challenge in the past few years. We spent quite a bit of money in 2020 to upgrade the AV, thanks to COVID funds that we had received at the time. I don't think we're quite where we would like to be. It's a little complicated. We had issues last month with the audio part of the meeting, and it was pretty bad. And we've continued to have glitches in our YouTube platform. I don't know how many people use the YouTube platform, but it's not user-friendly, and there's been cases where portions of meetings have actually not been recorded. So my goal here would be to have the city manager and create we talked about having a plan by February or March to look at a better solution for our video and to see if we can streamline this. What can we do to make this thing work so that it's reliable and that any member of any commission can come in here and start their own video, record it, and broadcast it out to the public. So that was my goal. I'd like to hear some thoughts from others, if you have them. Councilmember Odell.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some I think that we need to improve upon. Our citizens need information so they know what's going on in their city. And if they cannot get that in a clear, concise way, it's problematic. It causes a lot of confusion. And the whole point of us being up here as government elected officials is to make the city run better. And this is one way we can do that, to make our citizens more informed and get the information they need. So I think it's definitely worth looking into and seeing how we can improve. We should always be looking for ways to improve everything we do.
Okay. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sutherland.
I was just going to say, in addition to having them accessible and recorded and reliably given to the public, something else that we've talked about in the past was, during COVID, we had Zoom, right? So that residents could watch the meetings at home, they could ask questions virtually. And for me, I always want to get as much resident feedback as we possibly can and have their ability. So I know that, Don, you had some thoughts on that in the past, and that there, I think at a state level, right, that there isn't really a lot of cases where people are really jumping on board to do this, but I'd be interested to see what other cities are doing and what we could potentially do so that if residents did want to watch from home and raise their hand to ask a question, obviously we'd have to put parameters around it, but how else we can make it more accessible to everyone to be able to participate in meetings.
Thank you. Any other thoughts on that? I have participated in a couple of recent meetings where Zoom was a component of it, and it works very well if you integrate it and have that. One meeting I was at, there were 40 people online, and it worked really, really well. But I know it's not perfect, but I would like to see some improvement to that. Councilmember Baranski.
Yeah, just for history, we had Zoom, and we had to pay someone to monitor the Zoom, so we were incurring expense. And as it went on, it was 5 and 3 and 1 and 0 and maybe 1, and so it wasn't, and then there were technological issues, is my recollection. So I think it was a year ago that we did it a long time, because I'm all in favor of, unlike other boards, not in Fraser, but, or not at the city, where they don't at least televise it, so that you can get the information. So being mindful of cost and just the realities of it, right? Like, I'm all in favor of exploring it, but it wasn't as utilized as we thought it would be when we were offering it. Because I think you were still on when we
I
were doing
was.
it, yeah.
I think for me, it's just having all of the information, right? Which I know is what we always want, right? To get to a decision is like, what are other cities doing? How much does it cost? Is there a benefit? Just having all of it so that we don't have to later come back and say, oh, is there really a benefit? Like, what is really the cost? Is it $5 a month? Is it $500,000? You know, so, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I guess my main point for bringing this up initially is get the video better. In the early mid-90s, we were one of the first communities that broadcast every meeting, recorded every meeting, everything worked, and it was simple, and I think Ed may have been here. Things, as I said, got more complicated, so first thing, make it work. And then the second thing, look at what the other options are and how we can integrate those things so they work. We do not want to complicate our meetings. We want to make them visible, transparent, and available. That's my goal. So how, Mr. Denault, how would we best, should we make a motion to direct the city manager to do that, or would that be?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, either way, I think, she's taking diligent notes, and typically when we sense a consensus, we know the direction that administration is being asked to follow. If you have a specific sort of parameter-driven motion, though, that would always help administration, too. So it's really up to the council if you have specific parameters and bullet points, or if you think the consensus has been communicated.
Well, I can make a motion, and we'll see how it goes. I'd like to make a motion to direct the city administration to prepare a plan and report for the March meeting for solutions to our current audio-visual broadcast and storage issues. The plan and report would include alternatives to YouTube, other paid platforms, including Vimeo, Granicus, or other municipal streaming platforms, benefits and drawbacks of various solutions, and estimated cost to implement them. Not just the subscription, but what it would take for us to actually achieve this. And recommendations from the administration on what you could do, or what we can do to streamline the whole process. That would be my motion.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Denault.
Mayor, I just want to point out that I was listening carefully to your motion. I'm not sure that it encompassed the extra discussion about potential live interaction. Is that part of your motion as well?
Not specifically, no. Main thing is get it working. So, motion by Odell. Did we have a second?
I have a question.
You did the motion.
Oh, I made the motion. Sorry.
Oh my God. Who's on
Got so many lights. All right, Councilmember Baranski.
I guess my question is, that is a lot in essence, 2 months. Is that on top of doing your regular work? Is that something that, I am 100% in favor of getting all of that, but that was a lot of different data points. Do you feel that that is sufficient time for you to gather all of the different options, put it together, and, because I'm in favor of getting the information, I just don't want to make a motion and then you come back in March and then people be mad because you didn't do it in 2 months.
Well, I would certainly be seeking out some assistance from others on this. This is not something that I have the knowledge to be able to put together really any type of report or anything on this. I will certainly strive to achieve it for the March meeting, and if for some reason I can't have it done by then, I'll certainly give you a report as to where I am at that point in time.
And my second question was going to be exactly that, like cost. Are we anticipating then some sort of a budget that we would be expanding? Because obviously, option, just like everything we've done. If we're going to spend $1 million on it, that opens up a whole thing versus spending no money. Is there any parameters for cost in your?
I would go back to what we had a few years ago that worked and start from there.
Then I'll second the
Yeah,
motion.
okay. Well, actually,
Be a third.
Oh,
Third.
sorry.
I made the motion. I apologize. All right. Members, any other comments from the council? If not, I would entertain citizen participation on this item. You have to come up here, and we can't hear you if you're not at the microphone.
It's for TV.
Yes.
My name is Jack Burke. I'm not a resident of the city of Fraser, but I had an idea that came up as a result of the discussion that the mayor just initiated. And that is, does the city of Fraser currently have an IT person or IT company that represents it?
We do.
So I would ask them to present what alternatives they have, and maybe this is the city clerk already has this, but I would ask them. And if you don't have an IT person, I would recommend somebody that could look at the various alternatives that the mayor is looking for to come back and summarize the costs of what's available, what the market presents today, to simplify and to organize something. So,
Yeah, we do have an IT company, and they don't do audiovisual because of the issues.
if they don't, then I would suggest, I do know some others that present this today that have these thoughts available. I'm a part of a group that goes to somebody that has this available on a big scale. So they could also suggest somebody locally
Okay,
and take care of it.
yeah, feel free to email citymanager@mycityoffraser.com
Okay.
if you've got some ideas. And anyone else would like to speak on this?
Am I excused that?
You are excused. Thank you. People generally just get up and leave. Yes.
done, yeah.
Okay, I thought he was done. Any other comments? If not, I would entertain a vote on this, motion as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right, item 7H, multimedia platform review. Oh, I'm sorry. There was supposed to be one more. The other, okay. Why don't we just deal with the multimedia first? We'll do website. Okay, I had asked for something on the website, but we didn't split that into two motions. We'll do that next time.
Split that up.
Okay, we'll do that next time. All right, item 7I, council member phones and laptops. I brought this up, and I've been around a long time. I remember when laptops and the council packet all came online about 2006. World has changed since then, and what used to be AOL account and a council member would just use their personal email. I now have 3 Outlook accounts, a Gmail account, and multiple remote access to multiple clients on my personal laptop. So we learned in the last, in some litigation that we went through, that our phones and our laptops are subject to FOIA and discovery, which complicates things if you need them to do your job. So my thought was that the city should consider, we should consider supplying laptops to council members that wanted to have them. The other problem is phones. We all use our cell phone for everything, and that is also FOIAble and discoverable through litigation. So that's why I put this on the agenda, and I'd like to hear how others feel about it. And Mr. Denault, can you elaborate a bit on the discovery and FOIA nature of phones and laptops?
I would love to, Mr. Mayor. This is a great conversation piece. I'll start with pointing out that it's a very difficult conversation piece for smaller communities, especially smaller school districts who don't have a lot of money, the more rural areas. They just don't have the financial means to accommodate a 7 or 9 or 5-member board with technology. And so what I've seen in my years is when you get a FOIA request at a community like that, there's a struggle for administration to try to honor that request because they have to go through every single elected official or appointed officials when you really want to get drilled down and find out, do you have anything on your cell phone? Do you have anything on your device that would be responsive to this request? And they usually get legal counsel to sort of give the parameters. This request is asking for searches for this name or this address or this subject matter. So we can narrow it down, but when that happens, it's incumbent on all of you or anybody in those communities to provide, make available, or aver, which means basically swear that you do or don't have anything, for the administration to even gather. And then what happens from there is, on that honor system, the city or the school district tells the requester, we have nothing, or this is all we have. But then if the requester discovers, learns, or assumes that there are things out there that weren't disclosed, that could end up in a FOIA appeal, which could end up in circuit court. And should those devices become subject to scrutiny and one little thing was missed, or 5 things, or 100 things, that could subject the community, not the individual, to the attorney fees involved if they hired a lawyer to pursue that to circuit court. So it's become, Mr. Mayor, as you pointed out, the world has changed. And this world, especially of FOIA and discovery, has changed unbelievably since even I started. When it comes to discovery, it's the same problem. As we all know here in Fraser, having gone through it, for those of us that did, the lawyers on the other side are entitled to basically a forensic review or some kind of a download of what you have. And then the lawyers that represent us, of course, can go through it first to make sure that they aren't revealing anything that isn't city business. That's a complicated, daunting process if you have a lot of material that you've had to disclose. So is it more streamlined? Is it more efficient for discoveries and for FOIAs to have city devices that each of you rely on? Yes. There's another side to that story, though, of course, and that is it's not necessarily a solution. Because if I'm the lawyer on the other side, I still want to know if you're hiding something by putting it on your personal devices, right? I want to know if it's on your laptop, your iPad, your cell phone, if you've done a text on your own phone because you didn't have access to your city phone. So it is there are two sides to every coin, and in my experience, it would probably be more efficient to at least start with saying to lawyers and requesters, we've gone through everything, all of our city-owned equipment, all of our city-supplied devices, and we found this, that, and the other thing, or we found nothing responsive. But at the end of the day, if we get into a discovery or a FOIA appeal, at the end of the day, it doesn't prevent or it's not a shield against going after your personal devices because that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to be thorough in the interests of what they're after and what they're doing, whether it's malicious or whether it's just doing good work. They're going to be thorough. So keeping all of that in mind, that's sort of some background as to where we've been and where we are and what I've seen.
Okay. Any thoughts on this? Council Member Shornack.
Well, being involved, unfortunately, in several of those, I don't see that it would be a wise investment because, as Mr. Denault pointed out, they're going to come for our phones and our personal phones and everything anyway, because a lot of us are friends outside of this environment. And I'm sure on a one-on-one conversation, we might have a conversation about things that are with regards to the city. I don't think it would have helped at all from what I've experienced thus far. And honestly, if we can't afford to fix our streets, I can't see putting money into, I just bought another laptop myself, so I don't see putting that kind of money. I just feel that would be a waste of money currently. I have my phone. Any person in the city can have my phone number. I frankly don't care if they have my personal phone number. And in the 8 years I've been here, I've gotten 4 phone calls into the city where they've been sent to my email, and that's how I get them. And The attorneys had carte blanche to my city email, which they can have carte blanche to my city email, and I'm fine with all of that. So I have nothing to hide, and I don't believe anybody on this council ever has anything to hide. So me personally, I would just think that would be a colossal waste of money at this time. They did iPads before, and I turned one down because I, number one, hate iPads, but number two, just felt like it was a waste of money.
Okay,
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Sutherland.
I'm 100% with you on the cost, and I do feel like if they want it, they will seek it no matter what. The part that's a sticking point for me is that I do everything from my phone, including my job, where I have access to extremely confidential information that I wouldn't want just anyone being able to just ask for and get. So that's the part for me where I just really, it makes me very, very nervous. Because that's right, my livelihood. That's what I do. The company that I work for entrusts me to have that access on my personal device to handle things for them, and I don't know that I would want to that easily give that part of it up.
Thank you. Councilmember Baranski.
Being an attorney who has a legal protection, you still have to give it up. And the only way you could even remotely do it, you could never text any of these people ever on your personal phone for any reason. And the judge still is going to get it and look at every text you have. I have attorney-client privilege documents. They never ended up going through it, because the other thing to keep in mind, it's incredibly expensive to do a data poll. So although it was requested, they never went through it, because it's tens and 20s and 30s and 50s and $75,000 to do it. But we can't stop them from getting it, even when it's privileged by law, unfortunately. And then when you add in the complication, like Don said, first thing I would have did as if I was the plaintiff's attorney, said, wait, you guys are friends outside of it? Yeah. So that's just I'm with you, because I was like, oh, heck to the no.
Right.
And then they said, heck to the
When you
yeah.
said that, I was about to go buy more books of stamps. All of you are going to start getting more letters.
Amen. Well, the lawyer in me will tell you, don't put it in writing.
Yeah.
Solve your own problems. Communicate. Old school. I have a, whatever this is. What is this called? iPad. This is my city business. The city gave me an iPad. I'm comfortable with that.
Mr. Denault.
Mr. Mayor, Ms. Baranski said something that made me want to chime in briefly. You used the phrase, it's not going to stop them from getting it. And I do want to be clear on something. Your private, personal, privileged, corporate sensitive information is not going to go to, unless somebody makes a mistake, which is possible, but as a general rule, it is not going to anyone else. It is going to be within the domain of the city's lawyers, right? Not necessarily me, but insurance defense counsel. The lawyers that are going to be entrusting that information to a company that will then have it stored for the lawyers to go through first. They don't just turn it over, en masse and say, here's everything from everybody's phones and devices, have fun. No, it's more of the lawyers have to spend the time going through it to make sure they protect all of you and protect the city's interests. There may be things that are city business, but are none of their business, right? So I do want to make that clear. It's not that everything is subject to going to outsiders. It's just that there's that possibility, because everything has to be looked at by your lawyers, the city's lawyers. There's always that possibility that something gets out that maybe was a mistake, but it's never, don't go into this conversation thinking this is all of my data just going to the people on the other side of whatever it is. That's not at all what this is.
And let me correct, because what I meant was, you had referenced a really valid point about not having your laptop or your phone for 12 hours or 24 hours. That's what I meant by they will get the device to then do the analysis. And then beyond that, yeah. So thank you for correcting me, because that's what I was referencing, is you will be without your phone if they push it.
So there doesn't really have to be an all or nothing, though, if there were some members up here that wanted it and some that didn't, right? Could be an option.
Right. Any other council members' thoughts on this?
Chime in.
Councilmember Dale.
If it solved the problem, I could see looking at that, but if it does, I mean, if they can still request it, there's, I mean, it's an unnecessary expense in my view. You know, I think we have extra laptops or tablets and stuff if we need for city business. That's all, no, those are all gone now?
Yeah, we don't have any.
Oh, don't have any? Okay, never mind. I thought in the past they said there was extra, like iPads or whatever that council could use. I don't want to go out and buy more if we don't need to. So if that's not the case, just, I don't see the point in buying any further equipment if it doesn't solve a perceived problem.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. I guess the consensus is no. But I would like to know I very much want to separate my private life from my city life to the extent possible. So my question next would be, can council members have an account on the city server that would give us a space where, with Microsoft Office 365, where we could remote desktop in and have a virtual desktop on the city server, not accessing everything, but our own private, what they would call a virtual LAN? Can we look into something like that? Because I'm reluctant to put anything of city nature on my current laptop. I really want to start fresh, and because that's a lower cost solution, and allows you to have everything I have, if necessary. Is that a possibility?
So the way that it would be set up is we could partition a separate drive for each council member to be able to access via a VPN. So you'd have to remote in with the VPN. You'd have to have the VPN set up on whatever laptop or computer you're going to be using. And it would be something that would only be individual for each council member, whoever chose to want it, because there could not be any sharing between council members at all.
Correct. Can you look into that and come back in January and let us know?
I don't know that there would be any cost for that.
Okay.
Because VPNs don't cost us anything, and you're talking about just partitioning a folder with space for someone
Correct.
on our drive.
Yeah, I use that in many other communities. It works pretty well. It would still tie me to the VPN access from whatever computer I'm using, but would provide me a separate storage for my city-related business. Mr. Denault, would that help us at all? Or would that be a solution that it would at least avoid cost and have some measure of, for those that wanted to use it?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. I've actually seen that done in other communities, probably like yourself. Never seen it done for council people, but I've seen it done for different admins and different outside vendors and things, so I'm sure it would be the same process. Either way, I think it's a level one way of keeping all of your stuff, so to speak, in a centralized place. So again, does it ever solve the bigger picture? No. But if you think about it in stages, where would the lawyers start? They would start with city devices or city server, right? So that's the first place. Because it's on the city server, it's an easy search for IT. They can just search the server and find things that are responsive. So I think it's a great idea from a level one perspective. And then the level two would be the devices. And then obviously the level three, they're still coming after your own personal things if they have that kind of time and money to invest in doing so. But yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay. And then, so can you look into that without a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that'll be a problem. I can just send an update out to council to let you know if it's available, and anyone could set that up.
Okay. Thank you very much. I guess we will just pass on a motion for that. 8, returning business. Ms. Levin?
So to give everyone an update on the audit, Yo and representatives in our office have been working diligently trying to get this done. We knew coming into it that we were far beyond schedule when we first started this year's fiscal audit because the previous audit was far behind schedule. To put it in perspective, our audit is due at the end of the calendar year. It's 6 months after the end of our fiscal year. So the end of a fiscal year is the end of June, so our audit is due typically the end of the year, December 31st. Last year's audit, we completed 8 months late, so that was done in September of this year. Typically, in September, we would be in a really good position with all of our documentation from the audit, and we likely would have had the field work done from our auditors in September and working towards completion and having it submitted to the state in time and having them come to the December council meeting with their presentation of the audit. Unfortunately, we're not there this year, even with Yo and Yo spending every single day working on reviewing all the documentation. The way that the audit works is that we upload hundreds of documents. They systematically go through the documents, they review things. Typically, there's a lot of questions that come out of that. They kind of walk through samples of pretty much every type of thing that we do in the office and follow the whole procedure and process for that. So based on the information that we have from the auditor, they are now looking at mid to late January for completion, which is unfortunate, but it is still far better than how we were last year. It is an improvement by far. I did file the extension for late filing. Other than that, I'd like to thank everyone, Kathy and Angeli in our office for working so hard, and Yo and Yo for working so hard. They had a team of 6 people in here in mid-November, and they actually even extended their site visit here for a couple of days, really trying to work on getting this done. I know it's really frustrating for everyone. We're very disappointed, but fortunately there's no penalty for this, but we are going in the right direction. So that's the update on the audit.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Report of city administration. That would be you as well.
Let's see, I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that currently the state is working on putting together a mandated water fee, similar to what Great Lakes Water Authority has for the WRAP program, which is the Water Residential Affordability Program. This is something that would add $24 to $36 per year on everybody's bill. And as I mentioned, this is something the state is looking at as a mandate. It would be a similar fee to what Great Lakes Water Authority already charges, but it would be a statewide program instead of a regional program. There's been some letters flying back and forth between Great Lakes and the state about this, so I'm not sure what's going to eventually happen with this. My guess is that the state probably will move forward with this program. I don't know if Great Lakes Water Authority will remove that program or if they will maintain it for local benefit or not. That's something that is still developing, and hopefully we'll have more information on that next year. The Civil Service Commission met this week. They have a new list with 5 PSOs and 1 fire medic, so hopefully we will be able to get some new hires off of those lists. The county was in and conducted an audit of our November 7th election. Cindy had the pleasure of being the random person selected for that. But I am happy to report that we had no significant issues, so congratulations to Cindy and all the team of everyone working for the elections. Board of Review also met this week. This is their regular December meeting. It was pretty light. I think they had about 5 items, so in and out pretty quickly. The mayor and I met with a potential business owner looking to buy a building and hopefully bring some more business to the city. It was a pretty large group of people that was put together by the state, and we also had the county, Macomb Community College, and Michigan Works a part of that meeting as well. We unfortunately got hit by some paintballers with the Meadows Park sign. Fortunately, everything's cleaned up and no significant damage, so thanks to DPW for getting that cleaned up. And then one other thing, I know that we had been talking about potentially having an orientation meeting, and I don't know if you want to work on putting together a date for that, or if we want to have it at the next meeting for discussion. That's all that I have for tonight.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the city manager?
I was just going to make a comment that I think that it would be good to select a date. I liked the way that we did it 2 years ago, doing it separate, having it be more casual, I guess I shall say. And I
The
think that,
workshop?
yeah, the workshop, and that Don, you did an excellent job putting that on. So I'm real excited to go through that again. But yeah, I think that we should probably discuss a date and do it as soon as possible. Because I mean, having, Councilperson Stein and Perry, I think that the sooner the better to get that done, so that you guys can kind of get a better understanding, because it was just immensely helpful. So I'd like to get our calendars out. Maybe pick a date.
I think you did that in early January last time.
We did.
So what about like the 8th or the 9th of the week we have the meeting? Just to stay away from that holiday week, but
Nothing going on either evening, which is sad.
9th is Recreation Commission.
What is it, Recreation Commission?
Yeah, we're looking to move that date because it was originally scheduled for the 2nd.
Oh. I had nothing done. Yeah, the 8th then?
The 8th is a Monday.
Yeah.
Are we going to do video with both places?
you need to be available, Don, that's most.
No, well, yeah, I'll be available no matter what we choose. But didn't we do it at the senior?
Social distancing and, yeah.
We were testing out the new equipment.
Do we want
the
that
video
again?
The new
equipment.
video equipment is why.
Do we want a different venue for it, or do we want it here?
Then you could do it on the 9th, you wouldn't have to worry about.
Oh, is that why you?
What I can't remember is if we videoed that. I don't remember that being.
I
Had
thought we
equipment
did.
in there, but.
Yeah, because we had, that's why we did it there. For
Yeah, we did it for
You're testing
testing
the
purposes and
equipment?
spacing
But I think we
purposes.
didn't-
We don't need that anymore, so.
We didn't broadcast it, but we were
Recorded it and then,
to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was super informal. I mean, it was.
Yeah. I just, in case of, if rec was here and we were there at the same time, but it's really not, it's really for your benefit, the meeting.
Right. I
Yeah.
think we did overlap another meeting. I just,
I mean, is there any issue with having it at the senior activity center?
I loved having it there.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to have it at the senior activity center?
The chairs are unbelievably uncomfortable.
Can you bring a?
Other than the comfort, bring a
We'll bring a
donut?
chair for you. We'll wheel one over.
So that would be the 9th.
Yeah.
Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, I can be available.
Works for me.
Tuesday.
At what time?
Pick and choose which one to be at. Your recreation, but,
Oh,
that's right.
well, the recreation should be quick.
I don't need to look.
6:30, 7 o'clock.
Bring a sandwich.
What would work for you,
Oh, yeah.
And
Councilman?
And sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
And then we'll plan on it at the,
For that.
I know, but you didn't tell us. You surprised us.
Were those Jimmy John's? I can't remember where they were from.
Yes, they were.
I remember those boxes, yes.
So we're saying the 9th at 6:30?
sure. That works for me. That work for everyone?
You said at the senior center or here?
At the Senior Activity Center?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else for the city administration?
Mr. Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
just on the topic of the orientation, not expecting anybody to have it on the top of their head, but feel free to email all of us or any of us if you have a topic that perhaps we either didn't explore last time, something that's come up in the last 2 years that's of interest to any of you, just so we have an opportunity to vet it and maybe put together something more useful for you than off the cuff.
Okay. All right, report of mayor and city council. I'll start with Councilmember Stein.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I would like to say I'm excited to be up here. I'm excited to get my shoes on and run, right? Also, I would like to say Merry Christmas to all the residents and Happy Holidays. Other than that, that's about all I have. Oh, and congratulations to the new Mayor Pro Tem. And that's all I have.
All right, Councilmember Perry.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, Councilmember Baranski.
Yeah, I wanted to just follow up. We had talked probably 2 meetings ago, well, I don't even know if we talked at a meeting, but about the creation of an ethics ordinance for council members, board members, and whatnot. And now that we have a new council, obviously, if that is the will of the council, I want to have that conversation going forward. So whether we put it on a meeting or whether, not next month, but just, I don't want to overwhelm you, but I think it is important that we have a code of conduct for our behavior. I have it in my employment, most people do, and I think it's important for us to be held accountable to our residents and our business owners. So I would just want to make sure that that stays on the forefront for Q1 of 2024, is my request. I want to commend the DPW, the Christmas lights, the new decorations look amazing. Thank you for bringing us into the 21st century, or whatever this is. Wow, it was fancy. We almost looked Grosse Pointe-ish. I was very, very impressed. So thanks for doing it on a shoestring budget, I'm sure. So thank you for that. And just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. And I look forward to working with this new team. I didn't get the memo about the red, but this is supposed to be green, but my family says it's not. But I'm very excited to work with everyone and looking forward to what we can do to keep moving the city forward.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Shornack.
Well, I was going to say about the lights too, but I already told them they did a good job with that. I already told you anyway that, yeah, you guys did a really great job with that. I do appreciate that. So that brings me to another point with DPW. So we had decided to have a succession plan, which was well needed for our public safety. I feel like it is more than time to do that with our DPW as well, especially that trying to get employees is a difficult thing for DPW as well as it is for our public safety. I think that is something that we should definitely explore in this new year, a succession plan. I know when they're down people, everything gets pushed back for us too. As far as, because I know that I had reached out because it had been like 6 weeks and no one came by to do the leaves. And I'm like, listen, I have never once until this year. That's only because I have the bean pods from Hades, because I have a locust tree that's a girl. And I just was like, that's it. I had already gone through 20 bags just because of them stupid beans, which are still falling. Hate that tree. Anyway, so I put them in there and I'm like, yeah. That's been there for 6 weeks. And he's like, and he explained that they're down 2 people that are on permanent, injury or whatever. And then I started thinking about the fact that they have people that I know are getting ready to retire too. So I think we should definitely look into a succession plan as well as that goes, as far as the DPW goes. I wanted to know if we have an update on Mrs. Lentz's issues, because I want to make sure that that still gets taken care of for her with regards to the repairs that were done after the street and everything. I know that, AEW said they were on top of it. I don't know that they have to be a little more on top of it. I haven't spoken to her since the last time she was at the meeting, but, her property needs to be brought back to what it was before they did the quote-unquote improvements, because I can see in her mind, and why in her mind, that hasn't been an improvement for her. I mean, her grass was looking quite shoddy, so want to make sure about that. Wanted to thank all the employees for their hard work, because I know you guys work really hard throughout the year and deal with a lot of stuff from a lot of people all year long. So I want to sincerely thank you and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The museum will be shut for the next 2 months. They will reopen in March, so definitely get out there in March. Hopefully the weather will be better. And I know there were several members of the Parks and Rec Commission that were out at the tree lighting. And so I wanted to make sure we thank you specifically for your assistance, as well as Ms. Southern leading the charge on that to take care of all that crazy. So other than that, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all, and hopefully it will be a drama-free season, so nothing bad happens to anybody. So that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Sutherland.
I have 2 questions. First, Ms. Levin, do we have an update on the library? Sorry if I missed an email on the repairs, just what's going on with the old library building?
The repairs are well underway and still hoping completion before the end of the year.
Haven't gone by there in a while, so in case I missed an email, I wanted to ask. And then the recreation coordinator vacancy right now, an update on that.
So we extended a offer letter, which has been approved, and we actually might have him starting on Monday.
Like recreation commissioners in the audience, did you hear that? That's exciting. Thank you. Thank you for your hard work on that. And I mean, just really getting through those candidates and going through that interview process. Because we were just talking about the interview process in the last meeting. So I mean, that's within a month, right? Is vetting all of those candidates. And I think we had a good candidate pool. So thank you for getting on top of that and really
Had
excited.
over 100 candidates to go through.
Yeah. So, I mean, great work to you. Thank you so much. So Christmas in Fraser, I have a long list, and I'm going to read the list because there's so many people that went into making it so fantastic this year. I got nothing but positive feedback, which after helping with it last year, I got some constructive feedback last year, but this year it was a lot of great feedback. So thank you so much to the paid on-call firefighters, DPW for all of your hard work, setting everything up, taking everything down, getting everything decorated, public safety, for being there. Elaine, thank you. You were there making it happen. Cindy, Mary was there running around, getting me garbage cans last minute and, you know, getting everything done. So thank you so much to Mary as well. Fraser First Booster Club, thank you so much for working to get the cookies and the hot chocolate, and Councilperson Stein for getting the cookies from the high school. Thank you so much to the Richards Middle School National Junior Honor Society for coming and volunteering your time to, you know, help the kids get their pictures with Santa. Encore the Dance for your performance. Fraser High School Marching Band. The Honor Guard, as well as, you know, fellow council members. You know, thank you to Councilperson Shornack, who went in and decorated the old courtroom. And your daughters to get that looking great. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to everyone else on council who helped and those who took the plunge, right, to support charity. It was cold, but we raised almost $1,200 for the Fraser Giving Tree to help give kids in Fraser a Christmas. So thank you so much for that. I've already got people coming and asking if they can do it next year. So the more people that hopefully sign up to do it, the more we can raise for charity, and maybe I won't have to do it every year because it was really cold.
Oh, you have.
Do I? I feel like more like a coordinator position the further it goes on. But anyway. And then, so the Baumgartner House at the Christmas sale, not this past week, but the week before, I was there. My daughter actually set up a little table selling her wares, and I was there for a long time. And I don't think I've spent that much time with the Historical Commission. And Patrice, I can see how you get drawn in. They work really hard. There was a lot of efforts that went in, and, you know, all of the conversations back and forth of, you know, what's going on over in the house, and, you know, Barnes and Otto. There was just a lot going on that I didn't appreciate that goes into that. So thank you so much to the Historical Commission for all of your work that you do all year long in having those sales at the Baumgartner House and, you know, really keeping that alive in our community. Congratulations to the Fraser High School Marching Band, who was voted #1 by Channel 4 Battle of the Bands for being in the Thanksgiving Day Parade. So good job. Go Fraser. And then Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to everyone. Have a safe and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, Councilman Odell.
Yeah, that was a great event. I just want to really point out the City Hall grounds look great with all the new Christmas lights. It's such an improvement from where it was, and lots of comments, people going there for Christmas in Fraser, how nice it looked. Former Mayor Carnegie wanted me to let you all know 450 hot dogs were given out. So we ran out of hot dogs, hot chocolate, and cookies within like an hour and a half, I think. I mean, we probably could have gave out a lot more. So hopefully we add on and make it bigger and more successful as the years go by. So it was very well done, very well attended. And it was truly a group effort. Everybody pitched in, and kids from the middle school and everything. We had more than enough help, which is usually the problem, is you don't have enough help. So just thank you to everybody that pitched in and made that happen. Other than that, just Merry Christmas to everybody, and hope you all have great New Year's. And make sure you spend it with the loved ones and make the most of it. Recent death in my wife's family, you just realize you never know when your time is here. So make sure you make the most of it with your family and friends, and don't take anything for granted. So with that, I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Odell, or Councilmember Odell. And being last means that everyone said everything. I'll just say, City Hall, festive. Christmas in Fraser, hilarious. I enjoyed meeting Santa Claus. Would like to just say a couple things. We had the honor of hosting the Beautification Council of Southeast Michigan at Hanover Grove last week. It was a phenomenal event, and the Beautification Council is part of Keep America Beautiful, us old enough to remember the commercials from the 70s and 80s. This is the same organization, and they go around and they pick projects to fund in micro grants. So you can get a $750 grant to add some trees or do other things like that. But really what they do is they concentrate on making Michigan a better and more beautiful place. Vanya Apps is on the board, and she invited them to come to our community, and Hanover Grove pulled out all the stops and put together a very nice event. So we had County Executive Mark Hackle there, State Senator Veronica Kleinfeld, the Honorable Elaine Levin was there, Sherry Stein was there. Were you there?
Just to drop off a check.
Well, you were there. But it was a great event, and it's those kind of things that really, they enjoyed the city, and that's that. As I said, everybody said everything about Christmas in Fraser. It was very cold in the water. I thought it'd be deeper, that's why I wore a life jacket. And I thank the DPW for all the work that they did. It's definitely an upgrade. I don't have much else. I'm sure I'll be told later what I forgot, but I would just like to end with Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your family. My condolences to the Frears family. And I know there's an empty seat at my table this year, and I'm sure everyone else will remember their loved ones. So Merry Christmas. With that, I would like to go out to citizen participation. If you have something to say, please step up to the microphone. You have 5 minutes. And who would be first?
How are you guys?
Good.
My name is Marvin. I've owned a business in Fraser on Masonic and Groesbeck, Metro by T-Mobile, for the last 10 years, a couple of months now. I also own the strip center on Masonic and Groesbeck, where the Metro is. Looking at an option for a state licensed dispensary, if possible. Would like that to be on the agenda, hopefully.
What?
Closer to the mic.
I'm sorry.
Just like here.
Yeah, speak right into the microphone.
Okay, so looking to hopefully turning that property or maybe one of the units into a state licensed dispensary. Been in the community for a little over 10 years, so hopefully if I can get on the agenda and then the next meeting, sorry, a little nervous. But yeah, I mean, that's really, hopefully we could get on that next time. And it's out there now, billboards all over. I know some of us don't like it or some do, but you know, there's some down the streets opening up, so just hopefully it'll be something for Fraser. Maybe we could bring in some revenue, and I'll have a business plan if we could get on the agenda and go over that.
Okay, it's a little more complicated than that. I won't go, if I let Mr. Denault go, he'll be here all night. But I think there's a process involved. We know your interest, and Mr. Denault, you've done an update on this before. Could we perhaps schedule something in the next few months? Just an overview on the current state of Macomb County's cannabis laws, because I know Roseville is.
Yeah, and I would follow the state process.
Yeah, but,
I have been.
yeah, we can't just put you on the
Correct.
agenda and make
Okay,
that happen. But
that's fine. Yeah.
we'll have Mr. Denault do some kind of a recap of what's going on.
Sounds good. Thanks for your
Thank you.
time. Appreciate it.
And, next, anyone else?
Hello. Ken Imler, Hawk Industrial. Congratulations to the new people. I did not know who won till I walked in here, and I thought it was a shell game, seeing everybody in different seats today. So, congratulations. Mr. Mayor, I sent you, congratulations to you, by the way, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
I sent you an email, always at the last minute. I'm a last minute guy. And I copied a lot of you also on the update on roads, in the industrial park. We basically were doing three things, which we've been talking about. One was trying to get some funding to replace all the roads. And I really think we don't have a stomach to replace all the roads. It's just, there's too much good roads to tear up with the bad ones. The second thing we were going to look at was looking at asphalt, which I was told is a third of the price. But then I was told later, because of the demand, they're starting to raise the prices. So, and once again, we don't have the stomach to tear up all the roads to do everything. In talking to business owners who keep asking me, what's the update on the roads? I said, well, I walked and drove all the roads. Took me a couple days with a wheel, and I measured all the roads in the industrial park that I would consider to be called Baghdad, which are basically undrivable. And if you follow us in our car, when we've been driving the roads frequently, we always do this. People wonder why you're doing this, because we know where all the bad parts of the roads are. And I was pleasantly surprised. Dorica had the most square footage of bad roads, which is about 40,000 square feet. That's less than some of the sizes of our buildings in that park. To do a whole road that's 40,000 is not bad. Riviera and Malin were about 27,000 square feet, which is the size of an average building. James Pompo was about 19,000. Vermander was the whole thing. It was just trashed. And what I did was I picked the part, section of the road where you couldn't drive it, and if it was too close to another section, I just did everything in between. Because you're not going to fix one section and then skip over 2 squares and do the next section. So that's what my suggestion would just be to just do a couple sections a year. That's it. Maybe one Riviera 1 year or Dorica another year. And over 5 or 6 years, they're all done. I think that would suffice, because I don't want to tear up the good parts of the roads for no reason. So that's it. I'll copy you two also with my email. And Councilman Perry, I know we both obviously shop at the same place. I love that. Love it.
Thank you.
You didn't copy me, so copy me too, please.
I thought you were the first one.
Yeah.
I got it too.
Yeah, I was on the subcommittee.
No, I thought you, okay, I
When
thought,
did you send that?
I got
I
it.
started with you,
It was just prior to.
and then I took
You
your
had my email address?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I got it from Jeff.
There's a minute left.
And then, okay, no problem.
Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hi. Cheryl Lacasse, 16847 Gretel. It's been a couple years since I've been up here, so I'm sorry. But 2024, hopefully I'll be back here more because my life should not be as hectic. However, I wanted to just bring up the senior center for your workshop. Is that allowed? Before people go talking about that, since it's not technically a senior activity. Mr. Denault.
I'll reserve the room. I'm a senior.
It is a young council, like it was said at the beginning. So I just want to put that out there just to be on the safe side.
I had asked that question when we were talking about it too, but thank you for bringing it up again,
Yeah.
because it just got some nods. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
totally a good idea. To
Don't want any, you don't want to start the new council off on the wrong foot. So,
We'll just make it the 8th if we have to. Tell us.
and then, other than that, I was going to ask about who I can talk to about getting a light at the corner of Gretel and Garfield, a street light, because it is pitch black. And there are people that get almost hit all the time at night, walking. There's one on Garfield, past Gretel, but not at the street. So, it's very black, very dark.
Ms. Levin, would that the Macomb County Department of Roads, since that's a county road?
So it's not going to happen, probably. Throwing that out there. So, okay, I'll look into that. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Congratulations to the new council members, to the new mayor. You guys are going to do great.
You can email the Macomb County Department of Roads.
Yeah, it'll
CC
probably.
Mr. Ragsdale.
Okay. I'll CC you on it.
Named, and Harold Haw.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get this done because I've almost hit people turning into the sub, so I don't want that lawsuit. I'm in insurance, so I know how expensive it is. So thank you guys very much. Happy New Year.
All right, anyone else would like to speak?
Hello, I'm Nancy Erkey.
You have to get close to that microphone.
I'm Nancy Erkey. I live in the Mulvey North condos, which is very close to Mulvey and Garfield. So I use that intersection many times. And I just want to know, when Garfield is being done, are they going to also get that little, what I call a path of potholes? That whole end of Mulvey that connects to Garfield is a mess. Will that get done too?
That would be a question for Mr. Ragsdale, and as part of the plan, that's what I would like to see, is just a one-page what's going to be fixed.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And thank you for getting it on the thing. We've been waiting for that since,
30 years, you said?
well, no, just since the sinkhole.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
was all scheduled to be done, and then obviously, it would have been crazy to do it at that time. But
Would have been a
thank you for doing it now.
glad.
Supposed to widen it 30 years ago.
And it's going to be 3.
No, I know, but they were supposed to widen it 30 years ago.
Well,
I know that with absolute certainty, because I was.
Well, I didn't even live here 30 years ago.
I can tell you that with absolute certainty, they were supposed to widen it 30 years ago.
Well, it's about time then.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
You can hear me. I'm
Right, anyone else like to comment tonight?
Hi, Deanna Reiner, 15569 Luxembourg. My phone's been going off like crazy tonight. A lot of concerned citizens, I'll just put it, I'm not going to say anyone's names. First, actually, thank you, Mr. Ragsdale. The Christmas decorations outside were fabulous. Question came in was that years ago before COVID and we had the PA 33 and the PSOs laid off, we did not have Christmas in Fraser for a time. And the question came in from a citizen that there were several $1,000s worth of decorations that were donated and stored in a building. So were the current decorations purchased, or were they the ones that had been donated and never used previously? So that was one question that the citizens would definitely like to look into, because there was a lot of money donated for that. And like I said, they said definitely they've never been used. My other thing is, again, during the campaigning, we had a lot of discussion as to whether there was going to be a bias between a majority of Fraser First and Parks, and then Patrice and Amy, and of course with Kenny being new. But again, it just shows tonight, the logic would have been is to have Patrice be mayor pro tem. The city deserves some continuity She's been here through everything. And again, it just shows the majority heard that time and time again throughout the campaign. No, we're not going to have any bias. We're going to be all, doing just what we're supposed to do. It was so evident tonight. It's going to be, I've had many comments on what they're calling it, but residents are watching. So I don't want to see this become majority versus them. And that's what happened tonight. And I'm very disappointed that Patrice was not reelected as mayor pro tem. That's very sad for the city, and there are a lot of residents, like I say, my phone has been going off the whole meeting about how disappointed this decision was tonight. So that's it, and thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Mr. Ragsdale.
Just to answer the resident's question, I personally bought 95% of all the Christmas lights myself with the city credit card for what was done out here. Our guys went through, you seen what it looked like last year. These are the stay lit lights. So if one light bulb goes out, they stay lit. Whereas the other ones, one light bulb goes out and half the strand's out, and we went through all the Christmas lights, and what we had left is out at the right-of-way on Garfield on those trees, and this Christmas tree out front. That's it. So anything that she's talking about with where the new Christmas lights are, I have no idea. They're not here. So that's why we purchased the new ones. So I'm not sure what happened to that, but I know what we have now. And the plan is when the DPW takes these down, they are to label them. There will be a map drawn out with a picture. So it doesn't matter who puts it up. They know where each one goes. This is section 1. This is A, plugs into B, so that anybody can put it back up and it looks just like it does now. So,
Before you go, you're more than a citizen. Question. Somebody asked me, what about the nativity scene and the menorah?
I have I've been asked that as well. The city manager had asked me about that. Some of the department heads. I haven't seen one since I've been here in almost 3 years. So I don't know where that is as well.
All right. At least we have it on the record. So, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yep. Hold on. Anyone else from the audience would like to speak tonight? No. Good. All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Oh.
Motion by Shornack, second by Odell to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, meeting adjourned.